The Sunrise and the Reaping movie is set to come out on November 20, 2026, and it's probably my most anticipated movie for next year. From this upcoming movie, Lionsgate and the Hunger Games Instagram page have been revealing more and more details on the cast members. In my previous video, I've already shed some light on the majority of the actors and actresses, but with the new updates coming in recently, I decided to make this video to introduce the new cast members joining this movie and to share 5 things we need to see in this upcoming film. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first cast member we'll talk about is the actress for Drusilla Sickle. Drusilla was the District 12 escort for the 50th Hunger Games, and she was described as an older woman with a plastic face and a dreadful fashion sense. Her fashion sense was so bad that Maysilee Donner had to roast her every time she could, and overall, Drusilla was just a horrible capital citizen. For the Sunrise and the Reaping movie next year, she will be played by Glenn Close. Glenda Veronica Close is an American actress, producer, and director. She's been in 100 movies, and she still has 7 upcoming ones with The Sunrise and the Reaping. Glenn is pretty much booked for both this year and next year, and that's because of her extensive acting experience. She's been in Broadway, film, and theater, and she has received so many awards and accolades in her career. Some of her work include the following: Guardians of the Galaxy, 101 Dalmatians, The World According to Garp, and Hook. Next is the cast member for Magno Stift. Magno is a District 12 stylist, and he was known for incorporating live reptile fashion to the clothes the tributes wore. In the book, he had sun-leathered skin tattooed with a snakeskin pattern, and he just loves reptiles to the point that, I'm not even making this up, he was known to lick toads after the war, and he isn't helpful by any means to Haymitch in the tributes. For this movie, he will be played by Billy Porter. Billy is an American actor, singer, director, and producer. Like Glenn Close, Billy was also known for Broadway and film projects and has been given awards multiple times throughout his career. He's most known for movies or shows like the 2021 Cinderella movie, the TV show Pose, the 2022 movie Anything's Possible, and The Humbling. After Magno's casting is the actor for Panache Barker. Panache was one of the male tributes of District 1 in the 50th Hunger Games, and he was described as the physically biggest tribute. He was also known for being arrogant, hot-headed, and apparently kind of dumb, to the point that Caesar Flickerman even roasted Panache a few times in the interview and implied that Panache was a vain idiot. In this movie, Panache will be played by Jaleel Swaby, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but let's talk about him. I couldn't really get that much of him online. He's credited for a few projects like The White Dog, Cher, and The Lake Season 2 on Prime Video. He's about 26 years old, and I can honestly see him as Panache. Next is the cast member for Silka Sharp, a District 1 tribute from the 50th Hunger Games. One thing I remember most about Silka is how strong she was as a tribute in the book. She placed second out of 48 tributes, and she was described as confident and bigger than Haymitch Abernathy. Silka will be played by Laura Marcus. Laura is a British actress who's most known for roles in movies or shows like The Great Escaper, The Jetty, Bad Education, and Tom Jones. Up next is the casting for Ampert or Beady Lady Your Son and the male tribute for District 3. Ampert is one of the kindest and sweetest kids in the Hunger Games, and he's pretty much the Rue character of The Sunrise and the Reaping. Ampert will be played by Percy Daggs IV. Percy is an actor and writer. He's about 12 years old, and he honestly looks like a kid compared to the rest of the actors, so I just know that this movie is going to be so heartbreaking just like the book. But anyway, let's talk about Percy Daggs. Percy is actually the son of Percy Daggs III, who is another actor, and Percy IV decided to follow in his dad's footsteps as an actor too. For someone as young as Percy IV, he's credited in 10 projects, and these are some of them: Never Let Go, Paradise, Undone, and Solos. And last but not the least is the casting update for Wellie. Wellie is a District 6 tribute in the 50th Hunger Games, and she was one of Haymitch's allies in the games. Wellie will be played by Radha Ray. Radha is an actress, and I couldn't really find that much about her. She's credited for movies like Nine Perfect Strangers, House of David, and Extraterritorial. But that's pretty much it. Now that we've gone through all of the cast members so far, I just wanted to quickly share 5 things we need to see in this upcoming movie that I bet all Hunger Games fans will appreciate. I believe that this adaptation looks great so far, and it would be even better if they included the following. But first, spoiler warning. I might accidentally say something that will spoil readers, so be careful for those who still want to continue. But anyway, let's get into it. Number 5. Lenore Dove and Haymitch's relationship. Lenore and Haymitch may be an overlooked pairing in the Hunger Games fandom, but in my opinion, they're very important to the story. Haymitch's motivation throughout this book was to get back to Lenore Dove, and the reason he got into the games itself is because he tried to defend her. I wish the filmmakers would understand the importance of their relationship because it's what kept Haymitch going throughout the book. Their love was a touching and heartbreaking thing to process when reading the book, especially because of how it ended, and it would be more impactful if we get to see scenes with Haymitch and Lenore in the movie. Number 4. The actual Hunger Games. And what I mean is what happened in the arena. I want to see the film capture at least a good majority of what went down in the arena to see the many iconic scenes from the book, from the gorgeous arena itself to the different character deaths, and especially to Haymitch's journey for the rebellion. Seeing the actual games is very important, and I hope that they keep the scenes we got from the book to make everything more meaningful and impactful to the story. Number 3. Haymitch and Snow's scenes. Now, this is something I really want the movie to keep because they're so interesting to read about in the book. I specifically want the moment when Haymitch was in Plutarch's house when he meets Snow in the room. Snow and Haymitch talk, and Snow pretty much hinted about Lucy Gray, and I just want this conversation on screen. It really shows how Snow grew to dislike District 12 and loves to taunt Haymitch, which would add up well in the future scenes like the milk, the gumdrops with Lenore, and even to Haymitch's family's death. Showing Haymitch and Snow's scenes are really important to me, and I honestly wish to see them on screen. Number 2. The bond among the tributes. There were 2 main alliances in the 50th Hunger Games. First was the obvious careers or the district tributes from Districts 1, 2, and 4. However, Haymitch and the other tributes also got together to form an alliance known as the Newcomers. This is honestly a really cool concept to me when I read the book, and I really want to see this on the big screen. These bonds are what kept the different tributes together, and it'll be sweet to see the different tokens Maysilee gives the newcomers, especially when they introduce the new alliance in the interviews. I'm not really sure if the movie will show all of the interviews, because that would take a lot of time, but I hope they show at least a good portion of it. It'll really solidify the bond the tributes have and make us connect with them even more. And last but not the least, number 1, the edited games. As I mentioned in my previous Hunger Games video, propaganda and media is one of the main things in The Sunrise on the Reaping. The Capitol pretty much edited and tweaked details from the actual games, and seeing just how different the Capitol made it would be so cool to see, to understand just how powerful the Capitol was with propaganda, and it really gives the Hunger Games a whole new narrative. And not to mention, it would make Haymitch's games more tragic than Katniss's in my opinion. So I'm so excited to see that on the big screen. Overall, that's all I have for this video. So how about you? What else do you want to see in the upcoming movie? Let me know in the comments down below.